How you doing today, Miss Turner?
I'm doing well. How are you?
All right, all right. Today I want to talk to you about Texas Southern University, and I know that you're an alumni.
Yes.
What was your favorite thing about Texas Southern University?
My favorite thing about Texas Southern University was, well, my favorite things. Number one, I liked the small classes. I enjoyed my professors. I mean, they actually knew my name. So I liked the part where most of them, I would say like 95% of them got to know their students. So it was more personable versus a bigger university where everybody was a number. I went to TSU because I didn't want to just be a number. I wanted to be able to have a relationship, with my professors. So I like that. I enjoyed the people who went there. I made new friends, developed different types of relationships. So, I mean, I enjoyed Texas Southern.
Okay, okay. How do you feel that how Texas Southern was when you was there, and have you seen it like now? Like, how do you feel like how has it changed?
Well, I haven't been on the campus in a long time, but I don't like some of the negative press that it's been receiving lately, and it's not due to the students that were at Texas that are attending Texas Southern.
Mm-hmm.
It's to the fact that other people, outside sources, are coming on campus, and they're kind of giving my alma mater a bad name.
Yes, ma'am.
So I mean, I kind of have an issue with that because it's a great school.
Yes, ma'am. I completely agree with you on that matter. Um, as far as the people that went there with you and the people you took classes with, how did y'all interact with each other? Because today they have study groups, and you know you can get together and do those types of things and be social with each other and make groups within the class while in class. How is it then now? Well, back then.
Contrary to your belief, we had study groups back then too. We had study groups back then too. We developed friendships and we developed relationships and we worked together, to pass the test. It was like one big family. So, contrary to your belief, I didn't go to school back in Flintstone times. I went to school where we had study groups too, and we worked together.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Have you visited some of the school's museums?
Uh, no, I have not. I have to be honest, I have not.
Well, let me just personally say that you've missing some great things, especially in Hannah Hall.
You know what I believe that because back then, well, when I was at Texas Southern, now, I don't think I'm not sure if they had it or didn't because I worked too. So I mean, even though I went to classes, I would leave class going to work,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
plus I had a daughter too. So my time was like get to class. In between classes, I'd meet with my friends and we would study. But then after that, I had to either go pick up my daughter or I had to go to work. So I didn't have a lot of time.
Okay. Were you involved with some of the groups on campus, like student government and?
No, no. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot of time because I had an agenda.
Mhm.
And in between working, taking care of my daughter, um, studying for classes. Excuse me, studying for classes. I also had to take. I would leave class and go pick up my sister who went to health professions. I pick her up, take her to work, and then come back to class because I'm the oldest, and out of three sisters, I'm the oldest. So to help my parents out, I also had to do that. So I didn't have a lot of time to get into a whole lot of stuff.
How do you feel about HBCUs? Like not just Texas Southern in general, but like as a whole, like HBCUs throughout the country.
As a whole, oh, I'm all for HBCU. I'm pro HBCU because especially like let's take Texas Southern. My mom went there. Her sisters went there. My cousins went there. I went there. I had a daughter to receive her master's there. So, I mean, pro HBCU.
Completely understandable. Me, as in myself, I'm the first in my family to actually attend the HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Next to my brother, he attended Prairie View A&M University.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel following in the footsteps of your other relatives and family
How does it
members?
feel?
Yes.
I would say I'm proud. You know, even when you talk to my mom now, she'll start singing this song. TSU, a shining star, and we're proud of what you are. TSU, TSU, we love you. So yeah, I mean, hey, we proud. Texas Southern all the way, baby.
That's a wonderful thing to hear, Miss Turner. Um, what year did you graduate?
1986.
1986. Were you around with like some of the historical figures that was there back then?
Like who?
Uh, I'm not exactly sure to be honest. Like I was just asking, like, was it like any big names on campus?
You know, it may have been. I don't know. Cause you know TSU was a big campus, so like I said, I mean, in my direct group, if you're looking for someone like that's on TV now, no, not that I know of. But it may have been some people I just don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Um.
6 minutes. Dun, 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 dun.
Well, how was some of the football games? Have you attended any football
Yeah, I
games?
did attend some football games. I mean, they were good. I'm not really a sports person, but they were good. You know, but I think the thing I liked the most about TSU was that it was small enough where you could develop friendship. And you know, the study groups are like it's nothing like it. It will be like a group of us all in between classes getting together and studying for a test.
Mhm.
So it was nothing like it. And then you know when you get into class, we're taping. I can't talk to you right now. We're taping. Um, when you got into class and you sat down, the professor might call your name. You know, so it's nothing like having the professor know who you are. You know, and then if you didn't do your work and you weren't doing it, the professor knew it, and he or she would say, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" So to me, I mean, that meant something to me. I think I had a better experience going to TSU versus going to a bigger university because I know if they didn't know my name, you know, it's no telling what I would have done. You know, so it made a big difference.
Okay. One question I would like to ask is, how did y'all interact with y'all professors when you was in school? Because you know nowadays it's more technology oriented with students and their professors. So like, how did y'all go about turning in work and things of that matter?
Couple of classes I had to turn it in by computers, but I still had to go to class every day. You know, so we still went to class every day, and we just turned in the work. But one thing I did know is that whatever I turned in, I made a copy of it. So and whatever I gave Texas Southern, I made sure I have a copy. And somewhere in my mom's attic or somewhere in my mom's storage room, there's a brown envelope with everything that I've done, everything that I did at Texas Southern. So,
Okay. As you mentioned before, some of the tragic events that happened at Texas Southern University. How do you feel about Texas Southern enforcing the 11 o'clock curfew for the resident students?
I think right now maybe it's necessary. Unfortunately, Texas Southern has two different groups um, that in the community that surrounds it. So right now it may be necessary because what it seems like, I think most of the people who have gotten hurt are basically freshmen,
Yes.
especially freshmen. Freshmen, I mean, look, this is their first year away from home. They don't know what they're doing to do. They losing their minds. They're becoming friends with some of the people that they should not be friends with and doing stupid stuff. And unfortunately, it's costing some of them their lives. So 11 o'clock curfew, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make it work for you.
Okay. As a result of those shootings happening at Texas Southern University, some of the students couldn't, be able to meet up with their partners in study groups and things of that matter because of the no visitation rule that was enforced. How do you feel about that? How would you say that affects students?
Okay, so no visitation does not mean that you can't interact with students. It just means that you can't interact with people outside of the campus, right? They can't come on campus.
Yes.
Okay, so you had to 11 o'clock to go to the public library and meet with them if that's what you want to do.
Okay. How do you feel about the president, Dr. Rutley? How do you feel about him still like not allowing students with IDs to have visitation with their partners in study groups?
Okay, so are you talking about visitation from kids outside of the school?
No, visitation from actual students that have their IDs.
Okay, so they can't come to the dorm?
No, they couldn't.
I mean, you know what? Basically, it may be if he probably has to go back old school because I mean, it's apparent that they're choosing the wrong people to hang with. So he might have to go old school just to get the results that he's looking for. You know, they're not thinking. And right now, I mean, it's not about y'all. It's a bigger picture to this. You know, if others who may have wanted to come to TSU seem to think that it's unsafe, then guess what? They're not gonna come, and that's money, and that will affect the campus. So it's really not about whether you like it or not. It's not about your wants, as my grandmother would say. It's not about y'all. It's about the total picture of the school.
Yes, I'm glad that you made that valid point right there. Have you heard about the events of some students that came from out of state and are staying in their cars because they didn't have housing? It wasn't enough housing for students.
Yeah, you know, I read something about that. Is it because that they did not? Just wait on me. Just wait right there. Is it because that they did not fill out their paperwork in time?
No, actually, I feel as if they have accepted too many students that they couldn't take responsible for. They wasn't responsible enough to finish the new dorm rooms that they had promised to be finished before the summer ended. That's what I feel as if it was, and they tried to accommodate them by coming up with a buddy system, and that worked for a while until they was like, no, that's not going to work. All the drama and the shootings and things of that matter. Um, but on their behalf, I feel like it's their fault for not having those dorm rooms completed in time.
Okay, well I know previously when they didn't have enough dorm rooms, they would put kids up, like in different hotels or whatever.
Yes.
You know, so it's almost like a marriage that's gone sour. You got the school side, you got the kid side, and you got the truth. You know, and so it's three sides. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I mean, if they made a promise and if the kids turned in their paperwork on time, then I think the school is responsible for providing housing. If the kid did not turn in their paperwork on time and they ran out of housing, that's why they're sleeping in their cars. You know, so I don't know. All I know is sometimes things happen. You know, and all they can do is rectify the problem.
Okay. How much do you know about President John Ridley?
I don't know much about him.
Are you aware of back in 2010 that he had costed Texas Southern University $50,000 because he had painted over two historical murals painted by Texas Southern students?
No. I mean, I can't talk about him because I don't know anything about him. Sometimes they make mistakes, but he's still there.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, he's still there. I mean, everything he does is not going to be right, but I can't talk about him because I don't know anything about him.
Okay. What was some of the activities that went on while you were in school at Texas Southern University?
Same activities that go on now. Pledging. I mean, you know, it was whatever happened now, it happened then. Don't you know? I mean, history repeats itself.
It does.
Y'all don't really do anything different than what we did.
Yeah, that's true. We pretty much party, try to get some study time in.
Yeah.
we're basically just trying to make our own way
And that's the same thing
learn
we
and have
did.
fun.
We did the same thing. It is for, I mean, step shows, step shows, parties, pledging. Uh, I'm not a partier, so I went to a few and then that was it.
Understandable, understandable. Um, do you feel as if Texas Southern would be more responsible with financial aid and things of that matter and stand on top of students with their responsibilities, being that it's their first year coming from a home and their parents are usually taking care of them? Uh, how do you feel that Texas Southern should like step up with that situation in those type of
Talking about with
situations?
financial aid.
Yes, with financial aid, explaining to the students how important that is.
But you know what, really and truly, I mean, Texas Southern can explain to you how important it is, but you've been hearing that since you were in high school. Because your high school counselors tried to get students. I know here at Chavez, we have the Lobo Den where they tried to get everybody to fill out financial aid, get their, they will even help you do it. So you can bring a horse of water, but you can't make them drink.
That is true.
So it's not like no one has not told you about it. Not, I guarantee you, 99% of those kids already knew about it. They just waited to the last minute. You can't do anything about that. That's not Texas Southern's fault.
Hey. Back to the matter about the violence that has happened this year at Texas Southern University. Was it as much violence back
Mm-mm.
then? Was it?
Mm-mm. No, because we didn't feel like we needed a gun to get our point across. I mean, right now, most of those kids are cowards because everybody got to shoot you. They don't want to fight 1-on-1. They just got to go get a gun and shoot. They cowards.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, that's a coward move.
How do you feel about the law that's being passed January 1st of
I don't like it.
2016? Um, do you think they should annul that law?
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, that's just giving people a reason to bring their guns into places, different establishments. I don't like it. I mean, we already have shooting. I mean, they're shooting up churches, everything. So, yeah, I don't like it.
Do you feel as if people would started carrying their guns around campus, that more violence will occur?
Mm-hmm. Okay, Corral. Yep, I do. I don't like it at all.
All right, well, thank you for your time, Ms. Turner,
You're welcome.
and I'm looking forward to being an alumni myself at Texas Southern
High
University.
five.